Hey, it's Skate Date. Welcome back, everybody.
Yo.
Yo, check it out.
We're not on the couch today.
We are not. We are back in the garage where we belong.
I don't know. This garage looks really raggedy right now. There's like all kinds of shit with Rebel's like business, like random things. And then there's like a tower of like Halloween costumes and decorations galore. It's very overwhelming in here. It used to be one of my favorite places to hang out. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of Halloween stuff right there. And then like a lot of sweatshirts waiting to be dyed. And then costumes right there. And then our typical pile of crap in the middle.
It's a mess, just like Skate Date. What is Skate Date, babe?
Skate Date is a podcast, and it is a podcast that Shove and Rebel are on, and it's by two roller skaters who fell in love and decided to create a podcast to talk about things that we would usually talk to people about on skate dates.
You know what I was thinking about?
What?
Well, first I'll do the whole line. I'm Shove.
I'm Rebel.
Can you dig it?
And together we are Shovel?
Because I kept thinking about what I wanted to say, so I messed it up. Yes, okay. So together we are Shovel. But yeah, I was thinking about like, because I was listening, I'm back on my like my favorite murder game and like, you know, like listening to podcasts, and I was like, when are we to the point where we don't have to say what Skate Date is anymore? Because I think all the people know. It's like, why are we saying the same thing all the time?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I kind of thought we were letting people who had never listened to our podcast know what it was.
I know, but it feels like redundant, and then it's just like, I get it. It's Skate Date. I know what you're talking about. And I think at first it was very valid, and we needed to. And then, like, it's been weighing, like, it's been heavy on my heart, weighing heavy on my heart.
Oh.
Where I was just like.
I mean, we don't have to. Like, I was just kind of doing it out of habit, I guess.
Yeah, I know. But, like, now that you're thinking about it, like, isn't it? It seems like, oh, we keep explaining what it is. And it's just like, I don't think we need to.
I guess my thought was, you know, how like TV shows have an intro. Like I thought it was just our intro.
I think we should keep the like, I'm Shove, I'm Rebel, and together we're Shovel. Can you dig it? Like that's cute. Mm-hmm. That's a tagline. I'm down. I love that. But I think we don't always have to explain what Skate Date is.
Okay. All right. Well,
you'll
never hear it again.
If y'all are like, no, I want to hear it every time, go ahead and
tell us.
Write in or put it in the comments.
Yeah. We're just going off of our own guesses about what should be done.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my hair today, so I'm trying to distract everyone with my boobs.
Well, it's working, so congratulations. Your boobs look great, babe.
If you're just listening, you're a sucker.
Oh my gosh. So today we're talking about cosmetology rules and sponsorships. It's going to be an exciting episode.
It's going to be a horrible episode.
Guess what I'm doing this week, babe?
No one cares.
No, want to tell you what I'm doing.
Okay, what are you doing this week?
Okay, so I am doing this competition thing called the Nutcase 9 Ball, where I'm going to a go-kart track and I am racing other roller skaters. What?
It's at the Speedway in Anaheim.
Yeah, the K9.
And
K1? K9?
K9 is a dog.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like the K1 Speedway in Anaheim. It's like a go-kart track. I believe it's indoors. Looks really smooth, really skatable. They claim that you can go up to 40 miles per hour, but I'm like, is that on skates or you mean go-karts? But if they can go up to 40 miles in skates, because you can't really tell by the drawing, like how steep those little slants are, like that's insane.
I definitely don't think that I'll be going 40 miles an hour, but I do think that it will be a very fun experience, and I'm excited to do it. I'm very excited to have not trained at all.
I can't wait to see you eat shit. Don't worry, because Estro hasn't trained at all either. They're talking about it.
I was literally talking to them about it today, and they were like, did you train? And I was like, no, but you literally do yoga. And I just like...
They also like skate, vert, and do all this crazy stuff all day.
Yeah, and I just like sit on my butt all day long. So, you know, it should be interesting. And I'm excited, but also kind of like, but like, I know I'm going to get out in the first round, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to go for the experience and have some Red Bull because that's who's sponsoring it.
I hope there's some like randos that join so you at least make it like 2 rounds in. The prize is like 5,000, 3,000, 1,000 or something insane. Like it's a lot of money you can win.
Yeah, it's insane. It's a lot
Babe,
of
if you
money.
don't win it, you can't come home.
Okay, well, I guess I gotta book a hotel with my negative earnings.
Yes.
But anyways, it's free for people who want to come and attend. And all the money, like I had to pay money to get my whatever, like participation in it. And the benefits are going to like breast cancer awareness and like money towards that. So that's really cool being a part of that. I'm excited. So that's what I'm doing this week.
I'm just going to drink and yell and be like, go faster! Rebel! Like an insane person.
Yeah, she misses being a derby sideline person.
Yes, I miss being a derby widow.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing this week. Did you have anything exciting happen to you this last week?
We started a new series on Queer Girl Straight Skates.
Hell yeah, we did.
Called Fat Girl Tries. It's been something I wanted to do for over a year, and Moxie turned me down. So Queer Girl Straight Skates, get over.
Yay!
So yeah, the first episode, it's all right, I guess.
I actually think it's really good. When we were filming it, I thought this is gonna be so bad, but then I was editing it and
I had a mental breakdown at the beginning, like a literal mental breakdown. And then I just came out of the garage and just put a smile on and did it. And that's how you know I'm bipolar. If there was no proof that a bitch is crazy, it was what happened that day. So it's hard for me to watch that episode. So here's to the next one being even better.
Yeah. And I think the only way to go is up. Yeah.
Sometimes I go too up and then I go down. Well, all right. We have an ad.
Yeah, we do. It's exciting because it's one of our favorites. Why, it's Project Pinup. Hey, babe, did you know that Project Pinup makes a bunch of really cute, like, Halloween decor things that you could put on your body and on your skates?
No shit, babe. Project Pinup makes everything cute.
Okay, I know, but seriously, though, so I was looking on their website the other day, like yesterday, and I was just thinking about how totally and entirely obsessed I am with those pumpkin bell skate charms.
I was trying to sell them to Healy because I was like, you don't understand. Like, they come in different colors. They're pumpkins and they jingle.
No, they're so cute. Like,
and you can wear them all the way through to December, like a nightmare before Christmas. It's like perfect.
No, it's literally perfect. I think it's one of the best like skate charms that exist on the market right now. And not only that, but like I was watching her Instagram and she like reposted something that like someone else got an order and she was opening up the order and it was like skate bows and then it was like this cute little black bracelet and then it was like a pumpkin bell skate charm. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute and curated and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And I want to get a little box that's curated from Project Pinup. And then I thought, you know who else should want to get a box? All of you, because it's so great. But yeah. So whether you're deciding to deck yourself out or deck out your skates for the holidays, one place that I highly suggest that you go is projectpinupaccessories.com.
Yes, support small skater-owned businesses.
Yeah, and if you're looking for stocking stuffers or if you're looking for things that, when you're like, you have that random person that you're like, what do I get for this person? Well, a lot of times a really cute holiday accessory would be a great option for that person.
Or you're like, screw everyone else. I hate Christmas and holidays. So you just buy all the cute things for yourself. Go to projectpinupaccessories.com.
And use code SKATEDATE. You get 10% off. Hey, thanks, Woo! Project Pinup, for always supporting our cute little podcast with your cute little accessories. Should we head on over to the real world?
I guess.
Okay, let's go. Shove over here, booby popping.
Booby popping?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Booby popping to the transition music.
So, y'all, I don't know if you know this, but I'm in cosmetology school.
Oh my God, what?
I'm ditching right now.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to go to school now because of this new law that the governor passed that like everyone was just quiet about. But I guess if you were like owned a school, a beauty school in California, you knew about it. And like some hairdressers knew about it, but mostly it was just like school owners, which is hella shady that like my teacher knew about this the whole time and multiple people knew and no one was really talking about it. But in California, we're one of the states that takes the most time to get a license as a Cosmo student. And with Cosmo, like, I've always said it's a scam because you have to, even if you just want to do hair, you have to do skin and nails as well. But it's 1,600 hours.
It's a lot of hours.
It's like 3 times more than a cop.
Wild.
Yeah.
Just to cut hair.
Yeah, just to cut hair. And then still, like, if you want to do nails or become, like, an esthetician, like, you still need to, like, take extra courses on top of that. So it's kind of like, it just feels like a scam. Just like how I say college is a scam. Like, you want to learn this one thing, but they make you take these 5 other classes that you have to pay for that have nothing to do with the main thing you want to learn.
Gen Eds for life.
Yeah, and it's like, what the hell? Like, you just want my money. Also, it's super expensive to take cosmetology classes. I don't know if this is everywhere, but it can be anywhere from like $14,000 to $35,000.
Oh my God.
For 1,600 hours. And if you're going part-time, it takes like a little bit over 2 years, unless you're in a pandemic. Yay.
Then it takes like 20 years.
Yeah. And then if you're full-time, I believe it's like a year, a little over a year, like a year and a half.
So how far are you into cosmetology school?
Well, I am like 630 or 40 hours, which is crazy because let me break down what this law did. So the law now says in 2022 that if you want to be a cosmetologist, that it would be only 1,000 hours, which is like, oh, dope. But then it also says if you just want to be a hairdresser and not do like nail tech stuff or esthetician, it's only 600 hours, which means I'm technically done.
Whoa.
Except there's some little things under there like now sanitation, they want way more points. The test, they got rid of the practical, which is insane. We'll talk about that later. Just a written, but now it's more like scenarios. It's still multiple choice though, so it's kind of easy. But they are going to make it tougher probably because they don't have the practical. So yeah, I could literally have enough hours and then just have to work on some points.
And how long would it take you to work on points?
Like, I'd probably be done, like, after, like, 2 months or something. Like, unless it's something, like, insane. Because it's, like, mostly just sanitation and I think one other thing. But I have a lot. Most of my things are, like, 100 and up. But I have to work on, like, perms and stuff like that. So probably some of the chemical stuff. But, like, if I'm just working on that, the scariest thing is... okay, I've been paying towards 1,600 hours of learning. So does that mean when I'm ready to graduate, like I have to still pay for that much? Do I get a break? Like, because I signed a contract, but I'm wondering if that contract said for blah, blah hours that, you know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to pay that much money, or they're going to be like, okay, you can graduate now, but you don't get your diploma until you pay like $10,000. Like that would suck.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
Me too.
Because usually it's not like the cost is not hours based. The cost is like program based. So they could be like, you completed the program early. Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I remember in the packet, like I could have sworn they broke it down. Like it comes out to blah, blah per hour.
Well, they probably did that math for you. So it felt like less money.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well,
but
we'll see.
I mean, the writing's on the wall with that, but exciting to like not have to be in school for another year and 2 months as planned. Yeah. Do you know like the whole thing like about like how the test is run?
I know that like it's really intense and you have to have a person to bring in with you. and you have to like do their hair or something, and they're like people in a room, I think, and they're like evaluating your every move, right?
No. So you don't get to bring someone with you. It's first of all, it's like kind of far, so they recommend that you even get a hotel room. You stay there, that you know exactly how to get there before you show up early. You have a doll head and you have a bag that has everything in it already kind of sealed and ready to go. You have like 3 bags that you have to put stuff on. You have your hand sanitizer. It's very strict. You can't have your Apple Watch. They say don't even wear a watch at all. You can't even take your phone in there. It's very strict. They want to make sure you're not cheating. You walk in, there's like people on the front, and then you all have your station. You have to walk to your station, put your bag away, and just stand there and wait. You have a packet that has the same thing they're going to tell you. You're not allowed to do anything until they tell you the steps, and then you set up. Your doll head goes on your tripod. You have to wrap it with a cape and the towel. It cannot fall off, which sucks. So, of course, a doll head is way smaller, but you have human-sized stuff. So, like, you will lose points for things like that. It really depends. Everyone's watching you. Like, there's no talking, of course. They say don't look over, but everything's, like, time limited as well. So you have to do the whole practical. If you, let's say you drop something, you pick it up and you forget to sanitize your hands before you touch something else, like they're getting docked. You're constantly getting docked on all these little things.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like very stressful. They're going to cross check everything. The hair part is like a lot of things. You have to do like a perm on one section. You have to show like a tint touch up, a virgin color, a test, like a PD test, which is like where they test the dye on your neck or a piece of your skin, a blood exposure kit thing. Like it's super, super like a lot to remember.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Then you go into another room and it's 100 question test, everything from chemistry, where they're asking you about like fucking neutrons, protons, like nucleus and like all this stuff, to like skin stuff, like
protons and neutrons.
Yeah, like crazy stuff. They want to know about like if you like about seeing skin cancer, what kind of mole looks like what, like anatomy, like how many bones are in the foot. Like it's not just like beauty school stuff. Like it's like science as well.
What?
Yeah. And sometimes you get screwed and you might have the test ask a lot about that. And then it will be like questions about like hair color and cutting and the history of makeup, nail questions, skin questions, like all that, which kind of sucks because you're like, I'm hoping like, hey, I just want to be a hairstylist. That should mean that all my questions would have to do with like hair, but that then would science make
sense, too. Yeah.
Because they can't really throw like nail questions in a hairdressing test, or like same thing with like skin. So hopefully that takes some of it. They want you to know anatomy because they want you to understand like the shape of the head and how the hair falls. Hairstylists often are the only people that look at your scalp, so they might see cancer before you know you have it. So they want you to have a lookout. They also want to make sure you're not doing someone's hair if something looks sketch. So you need to be able to identify like, oh, that's not dandruff. Like you have like a disease. Like,
oh yeah. That's
so there is an importance, and that's why like they do that, because it's like falls under like health and safety and just like knowing things about your client.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the practical, and then there's the written, and then they let you know right there if you passed or failed, and then they hand it to you.
Scary.
And then you drive home either being happy or sad.
Oh no.
And then a lot of times you have to wait like 4 months and to be able to do it again.
Oh my gosh, that's so intense. What?
Yeah, so it's pretty rigorous. Like you talked about like getting your master's and like how it's like.
Yeah, comps was rigorous like that, except there was no hands-on thing. Comps, well, you either do a thesis or you do comps. Mm-hmm. And for me, comps was 3 days, 3 tests, 4 hours each. And then you had a defense, like you had an oral defense that you had like a committee, and each of those people on your committee had written one of your questions. And then you go in a few days or a few weeks later and you have to defend all of your answers, and then they'll ask you more questions, and you can either pass or fail. You can pass like parts of it, and it's also very scary.
Yeah, so I was reading an article that went around with the law and what it means, and a girl's doll head like rolled off the table, and that made her fail like they deducted her so much that like that just sent it over. And like she even said, like, I've never had a client's head roll off. Like,
yeah, like what?
Like, it's just weird things on there. You're like, And like, did they need to change the whole law because of stupid stuff like that? No. You want to know why they changed the law?
Why?
Okay, here's what they're saying. And yes, for some people, I'm sure it's true. But I also know the conspiracy / real capitalistic, most likely realist way why it passed. Okay. So what they're claiming and what is true, like this does help, is to help like disenfranchised people, aka people of color, people that are not well off financially, be able to attain a license, which makes sense because how I just said how expensive it is and the time. Like so many people of color drop out because one, it's just so expensive that they just have to, they can't do it anymore. Like I struggle a lot of the times. So it's like, first of all, you're paying like $500 to $1,000 a month depending on what school you go to. So and we're talking about, let's go to city college, like you can't get a scholarship for that. Like you have to pay out of pocket, and you can't claim it on your taxes either. So it sucks.
So shitty.
So like, and then second, like you got to think about like how we got to we don't have that privilege to just like go to school full time during the day. A lot of us are night students. A lot of people that have kids, like all these things that like keeps them from being able to just devote all that time to going to school. So again, they drop out. So they figured if they lowered the amount of hours they have to go. So like, technically, if you're like full time, you want to do 1,000 hours. Someone on the news said like that'd be 3 months. Like,
yeah, so that should make it cheaper.
Yeah, so like the price would go down too. So that's the whole like, liberal, like this is great. We're doing it for the people, blah blah. And of course, like I'm like, what are these white men doing for the people? Like they're up to something.
Yeah, that cannot be the full reason.
So a lot of hairstylists are in arms for multiple things. One, if there's going to be an influx of like hairdresser just like flooding the market, a lot of them are going to be afraid to hire them because they're going to feel like they have to teach them more, which I think is kind of bullshit because in school, let's be honest, they don't really teach you much anyways. They just teach you like, here's how to be clean, and here's a basic haircut, and here's a blowout. Like, but they don't teach you like the things you learn in the field. Like they don't teach you like trendy stuff, like all that. So I feel like a lot of that you still need. I feel like anyone coming out of school, even with 1,600 hours, needs a lot to be taught still, unfortunately, because that's how the schools just run.
Which is annoying. There should be like trendy classes.
Yeah, which like if you go to like John Frieda or like what's that other Paul Mitchell, which I remember looking into right after high school, but like thank God I didn't because it's even more money. Like those, they might do a little trendier things, but then like they also kind of, I heard like they use you and take advantage of that a lot. Like they're charging a lot of money, but you don't get any of it, but whatever. So yeah, so like they're like worried about that, but also worried that like they have to lower their prices now because like people out of school are going to have, their rates are going to be smaller. So now it's not going to be as competitive, the prices. But the number one thing is they're saying like the people that aren't like really worried about like how they're going to suffer, but for the people is that corporations like these franchises that cut hair like Supercuts, Fantastic Sam's, I guess apparently there's an Amazon salon. Like,
oh my God, of course there is.
All those places are going to sweep up all these people because they're not going to have anywhere to go, and then they're going to work them for minimum wage. So they're going to have like so many people to just like hire because everyone's going to be like, what do I do? I'm licensed. So where are they going to go? They're going to go to these franchises that pay them like jack shit.
That sucks.
Because all the other salons are like, we don't want you. We don't think you're even fully trained yet.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which is like, yeah, go there, learn as much as possible, then go to a salon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of them are saying like it's all a plan because I guess a lot of the lobbyers, like they were backed. This was backed by corporations.
Well, I mean, everything is backed by corporations.
Yeah,
these
but
days.
like it was corporations in the beauty industry. So sus.
Definitely sus.
Maria, who's opening she goes by Southern Discomfort. She is a roller skater and she is a white passing white Mexican hairdresser, stripper, just all around like awesome person that believes in like everyone should know how to do black hair, and she is kinky curly certified, like all this stuff, and like wants me to like learn so much, like wants to help mentor me, which is awesome. And she is trying to pass something to like just talking about like how it is good to lower the hours for people and like the costs, but how like you can't just do that. Like you need to also change the structure of what we're learning, because black hair is like one chapter, like one and done.
What the crap?
And like there's no braiding classes. There's no like here's how to do natural hair. Everything is about how to change the texture. Like here's how you perm, here's how you press and curl, but that's it. When they talk about braids, like you're just doing a couple braids here and there, maybe one extension. They talk about wigs in a chapter, but like not really just black hair. They like zoom over it. They might have some black clients that come at night, pre-COVID anyways, and that was our only chance. Or if you're the one black person like I am right now, they want to ask you a million questions and then you're teaching the class, and that's annoying as well. So they're saying like trying to make something that's like so many hours would be like on natural hair, on braiding, now perms, like making sure that like these schools that already aren't really like taking that time to really teach with their time, now that they have less time to teach, that they're actually teaching what matters.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Because they're going to have to be way more accountable now. And a lot of schools are actually like starting lawsuits against this law, which is crazy.
What are they saying? What's their like backing for the lawsuits though?
They think they're all going to lose their accreditation because like they don't really have that much time to prep and change things. Or now they're going to have to hire another teacher, like a teacher that just does hair. Because you can't have someone that's only doing 600 hours sitting with a class that needs to also do skin and nails, because then you're just going to be like sitting there not getting what you need while they're covering those chapters.
But like, don't you think that that's a good thing? I feel like that's a good thing.
I don't know. But like, and then the test is changing. So like what happens is like, okay, now all these people are like, oh, we can graduate now. And we go to take the test and then we don't get a good score. Like let's say all of a sudden, because like my school has a really high passing rate. So now if we all rush out and like, I'm sorry, some of the people in my class are a hamburger short of a Happy Meal. The lights are on, but nobody's home. And if they graduate all of a sudden, like, boom, oh, I got 600. I never paid attention in class, but I got my hours. And they go to take that test and they fail. The school's percentage goes down and down and they can lose their accreditation.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. So, like, that's why it sucks.
But it's weird because, like, how soon, like, is the law already in effect or?
2022.
Because it's like they have to change the test if the practical doesn't exist anymore and only 600 hours are required. They literally are going to have to rewrite the test that you take.
So everyone's like running around with chickens with their heads off. Like, I can't even get the information I need. Like, so we got like 2 months and all I want to know is like, where do I need my points? Like, what do I need? How much do I owe you? So I can have a game plan for that and just get the hell out of there. Plan my test date, study my ass off, and then take that test. Hopefully pass the first time, because you also pay like $350 or something just for the test.
Ew.
Yeah. And then I know you spend all that money. Like California's getting rich off us. And then like take classes with Marie, and like I've decided I want to be a full-time hairstylist, but I want to have it in my belt. Like she said she can teach me like more editorial stuff. So if I do want to work on sets here and there, like I just want to have a trade so that I know if shit goes down, I have something to fall back on that I can do no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's smart. Like, it's a great way to prepare and, like, go about life. Yeah.
One day everyone's like, fuck roller skates, and no one roller skates ever again. And then Moxie shuts down. Oh, that would be a fucking nightmare. Knock on wood. And then like, I'm like, what do I do now? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to do hair. And then I get a job somewhere doing hair and work my way up and do as much as I can.
You also legitimately could be a manager at literally any business ever. So
no, if it's not hair or roller skates, I don't want it.
Okay.
If I didn't have a bad back, I'd be the roller skating hairdresser. I would end up with so much hair in my bearings though. Because remember at our old house when we would like skate in the living room?
Oh my God.
And then we would look like at the axle and it would like have so much hair wrapped around it. So gross.
Pretty gross. Did not love that.
But yeah, so that's what's going on in California in the cosmetology world. Shit's crazy right now, and I'm excited but scared to see what it means. It's definitely really hard to be like, keep going to school with these hours you don't need, and they're not telling you where you need points. So you're probably just getting points on things you don't even need now. So it feels very like, what's the point? But I'll get there.
Hence the ditching.
I literally texted my teacher and I said, I won't be there this week.
This whole week?
Because I was like, well, Thursday's in that case.
Oh, yeah.
And then like
true.
I could go on Wednesday, but then I was like,
what's the point?
Yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you should call them like during the day tomorrow and be like, hey, tell me how much I owe you.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a smart thing. All right, let's go to the wheel world.
Hey, babe, are you a sponsored skater?
Nope. Wouldn't it be cool to be a sponsored skater, though?
It is cool to be a sponsored skater.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like. So in the wheel world, we're going to talk about being sponsored skaters and what's that like.
But, babe, don't you feel like you reap a lot of the benefits of a sponsored skater?
Yes.
Because of association.
Yes.
And because for some reason you're you and you always get what you want.
I don't always get what I want. But yeah,
you always finesse your way. You finagle your way.
I do work. I put in work and I make connections.
Exactly.
And I exchange things that I have to offer. So it might not always be monetarily.
Yeah. She like works her way up to like get those things. Like she doesn't just like, it's not like she's just like, look at me, I'm cute, and then she gets handed things. Like she does do a lot of like free things, but then like that benefits her in skate stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So like while I'm not a sponsored skater, I could probably still speak to the experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that I'm a sponsored skater, but I'm not a sponsored skater.
Because they're always like, Moxie, Moxie, Moxie.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not sponsored by Moxie. Although at this point, like I feel like I should just be.
Mm-hmm. I used to be on the Moxie skate team. That it's still, some people think it's a thing, but it is not. And some people didn't even know it was a thing. The Moxie skate team is something that a lot of people either worshipped or hated or both. Because it was super awesome. Like seeing the Moxie skate team is like what got me into roller skating outside of Derby, and it was always like Rebel and I's joke, like we're the Moxie F team.
No, we were called the Moxie D team.
No, I called myself F because I was like not even D level.
Oh, maybe we graduated to D at some point.
But like the reason a lot of people hated him because there was a skater named Millie who was your typical like California slim, thick, blonde, colored eyes. I don't even remember, but like very like just what you see like 60s pinup like person, and like super like short shorts and the high top socks.
Totally stunning.
Crop top, like yeah, beautiful, but like that's commercial and that's what everyone sees. And to this day, people will be like, oh yeah, Millie was like the poster child of Moxie for a long time. And I think at the time, like it was 13 years ago, it made sense that like that's when everyone was infatuated with the blonde, beautiful woman, you know what I mean? So like you had a whole skate team and that's what people saw. Like, yeah, they weren't all blondes, but they were all thin. Pigeon was the only fat one and she wasn't even that fat.
Yeah.
And then like Bonsai was thick, but like there was mostly the focus on like the super like thin,
skinny,
buff people. Yeah. So like when you thought Moxie skate team, you're like, oh, California, skinny, white. And it's changed so much since then. But definitely in my head, it was like, oh, I'll never be on that. And I remember like Kiana getting on the team and me thinking like, oh wow, like that's different. That's freaking awesome. Like they finally got like someone black on the team, and they had black people before. Like, so I should back up. They had Coco Franklin was on it, but like she wasn't really present that much, and again was like super thin, tall, like black Barbie. And then like she was no longer on it. And then they had 2 black men, but then like they were both out of state. Well, like Enzo was around, but not that much. And Roller Skate Travis, one of my favorite skaters, was on the team, but he lived in Texas. Yeah, Texas. So he wasn't in everything because everyone wanted to hire the skinny white girls for all the jobs, unfortunately, because society sucks. So I got to see him in like skate videos, right? Like you knew of them too, right? But like, so Kiana wasn't the first black person, but it was like the first one that was like in California and started being involved in more things. So it was like visual
and like photo shoots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That they would have. Yeah.
And then they did have like Latinas on the team too, because there was Dita and there was baby girl D, but still like very like white passing. So a lot of people still have that like thought of Moxie in their head of like, just do better. But like when you flash forward 13 years later, 10 years later, like now it's so diverse because like there might not be a Moxie skate team, but there is like sponsored skaters. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
About the whole thing?
Yeah, because like when you think of sponsorships, like one of the first ones you think is like Moxie, and then you think of like the slide like Wild Bones, and like there's definitely more like Pop S1, Roller Skate, like all those. But like when you think like skate team, it was like, oh, Moxie and or CIB.
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like I was less aware of the like skate teams that were outside of Derby. At first, I feel like my first experience with skate teams was me seeing all these sponsored Derby skaters. So like these hyper athletic sponsored Derby skaters who are sponsored by like Frogmouth and like S1 and
Red Bull.
Red Bull and
Antic.
AAA and Antic and like all of this kind of stuff and Rydell. So that was my first like experience with sponsored skaters. And so from my opinion, I had always thought that a sponsored skater was someone who's like super freaking talented, like just high level at roller skating. So that was kind of my view of it at first. And I definitely agree with the whole like just feeling like Moxie was very whitewashed, and also feeling like it was just like you had to be this like beautiful skinny human in order
and
to
also
be on
really
it.
good at skating.
And like really
right.
good at skating. Like I just always thought every sponsored skater has to be like incredible at skating. And I've even heard like people talk about that, like, oh, I'm not trying to get sponsored yet because I'm not good enough. And I think that that's really like an interesting concept. But I think that as time has gone on, like I really liked when they brought you onto the team, when Moxie's skate team brought you on, and they were talking about how like, no, we're just looking for people who represent what Moxie represents, and like the passion behind roller skating and all of those things. And I think that that approach is the better approach. Like I definitely think that that is the way to go.
Well, when I was on the plane going to roll call, or maybe we were like coming back home, I can't remember. I remember I went with Estro and Dita, and it was my first time like going on a plane somewhere far, and then also with people that like I knew but I didn't know that well. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. They like asked me at RollerCon if I wanted to do it, and I was like, this is crazy. And like in my back of my head, I was like, oh my God, this could be the first step to being on the Moxie skate team. And I was like, you're crazy, calm down. Like it's just like they see something in you and they want you to experience this. So whatever. So they took me with them. And I remember sitting next to Esther on the plane, and they were talking about the skate team stuff and gave my advice on things. And I was like, oh, that's crazy that they like really value my opinion, asking me about skate stuff, and like we're really listening. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And then so I just asked, like, what does it take to get on the Moxie skate team? And then Esther just said, I don't know. I just ask people, like, if I vibe with them and we get along, like, I just ask them if they want to on the team and they say yes or no. Or like sometimes people just ask me and then like I listen to my gut and I say yes or no. And I was like,
wild,
oh, wow.
And not at all how I thought it happened.
I thought it was like, I don't know, how cool are you? How many followers do you have? Like I don't know. Like,
what tricks can you do? Or...
Yeah. And then so like, I got asked at LAX late at night, like if I wanted to be on the skate team, and I was like in shock, and I was like, of course. And then I was like, that's crazy, because like what Rebel said, like they figured they saw me as like the embodiment of what Moxie's supposed to represent, and I feel like over that time, like the team started getting like better and better, like started letting go of people that were kind of problematic or didn't bring anything to the skate community. Like they started really like looking at what they were as like one of the leading brands in roller skating and what they were like showing the world, and started making those changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that is like a good change that they were making, but then they just like got rid of it. So
yeah, and then I was like, man, like the pandemic started and we were on like huge Zoom call, and they were like, we're ending the team, and I was so sad. I was like, I only got to do one fun thing, and Rebel got to come too. It was for like the 187 Moxie like promo video when it first started. And like
I was so excited.
Yeah, and then that led to me making the thick set knee pads. So now like I can always get free knee pads, like a pad set, which is awesome. So gear for life. But like getting the free skates is what's like super cool. Like like every sponsorship's gonna be different. Mm-hmm. So like for me, it's like getting the skates. Like one a year, which is awesome. Like that's every sponsored skater has that opportunity. If you really need something, like your gear is beat up, you need bearings, you can reach out. And like I know some companies like just want you to like promo it like crazy and like only wear their stuff. But like mine with Moxie is like a little bit different, but like I wear an S1 helmet all the time. Like I don't wear the Moxie helmet, and that's okay. And like it's weird because now it's like I work for them, so I'm not just fully like, it's like I'm sponsored, but I'm also an employee. Like I don't know. But yeah, it's like for me, it's my dream like sponsorship and partnership. So I love it. What's your dream sponsorship?
Oh my God, what a good question. My dream sponsorship? To be honest, so not to make it seem like, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so I've turned down a lot of sponsorships.
She has.
I've been offered a lot of sponsorships, and I've turned a lot of them down. And the big reason for that is because I was burned so badly by the whole Planet Roller Skate thing.
Fuck Planet Roller Skate.
Yeah, I was just burned so badly by it. And so when people reached out to me, even people that I trusted, like Michelle or like other people that I got good vibes from, I was still like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable being tied to any one skate brand. Like I know that y'all know that I was burned by Planet Roller Skate, but like it got to the depths of my being. Like it really jolted me.
We need to do an episode about that.
Yeah, we do need to do an episode about that. So it like really jolted me. And so it like there are a lot of repercussions. Like I can now a year and a half out of it, I can see waves that it created and like tendencies within me. I guess dream sponsorship would be, I mean, I would love to be sponsored by Moxie. I would love to be sponsored by Red Bull.
Of course.
I will never be sponsored by Red Bull because I'm not a high enough athlete.
We need a year supply every year.
Yeah. But I would love to be sponsored by Moxie. I would love to be sponsored by, I don't know, the gear and stuff that I already use.
Yeah.
So that I just don't have to buy it.
She got offered like a huge skate sponsorship to like be put on a team. But the downside was they wanted her to only wear that skate, whether in derby or park. And then Rebel was like, no. And then they were like, well, what if we even give you 2 pairs of skates, one for park, one for derby? And Rebel was like, I really like my jack boots, so this isn't going to work. And that person, that representative from that skate company actually like emailed Estro and was like, guess you created a really good skate there. We got people turning us down because they want to wear them.
Yeah, and I think my reason why I turned down so many besides just being like burned is that I felt like I wanted to be able to be unbiased when it came to making videos on my YouTube. And I still feel like I can be even being sponsored, but I definitely just feel like, you know, at this point, everyone already thinks I'm sponsored by Moxie anyways. So I'm not currently I'm not sponsored by anyone.
There's like now the new thing is like affiliates, so like more skate shops, and I think Moxie might have been the first one who did this during the pandemic and was like, hey, how can we help all these skaters that are like losing their jobs like out? And they're like, let's make like codes. And like it definitely helped, like especially during like the sales rising, like the boom in retail for skates. Like when I had to quit my problematic job, like I was able to live off of that. Like when things were like really bad, like of course, like eventually it was like, no, this is hardly any money now. But when I really needed it, it was there so I could pay my bills, and I was so grateful for it. And just to be able to like post, and there was no pressure. It was just like, post when you want and share your code. Like, this is a thing for you. No one was like, why aren't you mentioning your code? Why aren't you promoting? Like, it was just very chill, and it was like something accessible for people. And there's so many skaters where they have a large following or a small following. Like some people have like 2,000, not even 2,000, like 1,000 or less followers, and they have a code. And like an affiliate, like they might have perks here and there, but like they can have money coming in through a skate company, which is cool. And like I know like Pigeon Skate Shop has one as well, and she has like a bunch of skaters.
Moonlight Roller has one.
Yeah, Moonlight Roller. So like, and it's cool because it's like, yeah, it's advertising, but they're still paying the skaters. And I feel like for a long time, people were like, yeah, you're on a team. And then like, you need to make sure you post this often, and you need to do this. And like, you weren't making money off of it, but you're like, well, I guess I get free wheels, or I get free bearings, or I get free skates.
But like, when you really think about that, the amount of money that it costs to give you that free product in comparison to the amount of money that you're bringing in is like very small.
Yeah.
And so that was also always a reason why I felt like I could turn down sponsorships, is I would think about how much money would it cost for me just to buy the stuff that they're going to give me for free. And then how much of my work am I going to have to put into like posting and doing all this stuff, and what are the requirements going to be? And that's really another one of the reasons why I was like, to being a sponsored skater.
And then, like, not to kill people's dreams, but at the end of the day, a sponsorship is just, like, especially skate teams, it's just marketing.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's what's going to promote. That's, like, what people are going to see, and they're going to want what those skaters have. So it is, like, a marketing thing.
It's 100% a marketing strategy. That is what skate teams are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also, like, a bond and a family and, like, all that stuff, too. But, like, it's a marketing strategy. And
what's sad is, like, I think when you see skate teams, I think we create like this like dream of like, oh my gosh, a group of skaters that are best friends that are skating together all the time. Like, and it's an illusion.
Low-key, I think that's Moxie's fault.
I'm gonna be honest, like, whether it's CIB or Antic, like a lot of the times those people don't even live next to each other. Like, you're just seeing like what you see from photo shoots and special events.
Or like online interactions.
Yeah. And it's always like, I literally had a skater that was like, oh, I have this dream of going to California. I have this picture of the Moxie skate team, and that's just what I want. Like, I just don't know why I don't have skate friends like that. And it kind of like weighed on my heart. Like, I wish I would have, like, I didn't want to break their heart on the spot and be like, that's a lie. None of those people talk to each other. Like, because like,
But also, I think, yeah.
Like, I want to be honest. Like, it's just like, because a skate team is just made of sponsored skaters. So that doesn't mean you have to be friends. You might get along, or just like we all know, like, you have friends and then you break up over time. Like, you become distant. And I think, like, when you're in a skate team for so many years, that's going to happen. Life's just that way. So I do kind of like the fact, like, I remember when Estro said, like, we're breaking up the skate team, it was because they didn't want to be this exclusive, like, we're better than you, like, clicky thing. They wanted it to be like, we're all just skaters, we all skate, you can skate with us. Here's some people that we're just like, wow, this person really represents the brand, and we're gonna flow skates to them, and like just give out skates randomly to people that like do good in the community, rather than like have this team that like everyone idolizes and like has this weird feeling that the team did have, which I totally like respect and I see. So it's like, I want to say like we always say, like, don't believe everything you see on the internet.
I mean, like, when you watch a skate video or like an advertisement that has skating in it and it has multiple skaters in it and they all look like they're having a grand old time, they probably don't hang out like that all the time. Like, chances are high. Like, for example, like, we've been in several like skating, like, randomly commercials and stuff like that. And like, we met most of those people that night or that day. Like, and so I do think seeing it as an ad or like a marketing strategy is kind of like grounding, I guess.
I would say that's why I like, I think I enjoy working for a roller skate company, like being an employee even more than a sponsored skater, because now all my coworkers are skaters. So we actually do skate together and like we do have fun together, and I love awesome. That like they've come to the house and skated. Like if you've seen that video on YouTube, like that's real. Like we've had people over.
It was literally before. Just a hangout.
Yeah, and it's just like it's chill. Like we can take our skates to work and skate together in the parking lot, or we're rolling around and we talk about skate stuff and like what we're working on, and that's way more real. Like with like my Moxie team as in work team, than like it was with like the Moxie skate team. And so like just remember, like don't idolize that thing. Don't like make it your goal to get sponsored. Like make it your goal to just like make skate friends and like meet skaters, because like that's being on a skate team or being sponsored isn't going to solve your problems unless you're like financially struggling and you're like, well, that's how I'm going to get what I need. But even then, like there's other ways.
Yeah. Totally.
Wow, we got real.
We got real in the wheel world. Interesting. All right, let's move on to find your skate date. Find Your Skate Date is the part of the podcast where we find you a skate date and you send us information about yourself and we gas you up and we help connect skaters to other skaters around the world. And if you want to find a skate date for just people to hang out with, or for people to be romantically involved with, or for mentors, or for skate colleagues, just write in to dearskatedate@gmail.com. Dearskatedate@gmail.com with your personal bio and some pronouns and a photo of you.
And why you want to start a roller skate cult.
Yes. And we will decide if we want to join or not.
I already have this cult, but it's underground.
It's the cult of shovel.
Shovel, join us. Hi, Shovel.
Hi.
I am a mom in my 30s from Ohio, who usually skates alone after work or in the mornings with my kiddos. I am a longtime rollerblader who decided to attempt this roller skating craze during pandemic, and it was a whole new sport.
Love that.
I never fall with my rollerblades, but I could not stop falling when I first started quad skating. Side note, when I met with this guy from this company, he was talking to me about how like rollerblading was so much easier, and that like was harder and that like roller skating was easy, that all ages could do it and all this stuff. And I was like, you're so wrong. But I was just shaking my head because it was like a business meeting.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yes, roller skating is harder. Okay. I definitely progressed and attempted a 365 skate challenge, but fell off due to, life.
Yeah.
I do know. I skated in the Columbus Doodah Parade.
Amazing.
Why does it look so funny just seeing it spelled out?
Doodah
Parade, which is challenging and so fun. I would love to try a skate park, but it's definitely intimidating. Yup.
Yes.
Would like to find more of a community of skaters, skaters here, maybe even parents. Anyways, it's like a skate date, play date.
Oh, love that.
Love it. Anyways, I'm an artist, mom, plant enthusiast, environmentalist, vocalist, homesteader who loves techno, metal, jazz, folk, and experimental music.
Oh my God.
And the color,
amazing.
Capital letters, orange.
Amazing.
My Instagram handle is @SkaterRacket. I wish it was Skater Ratchet, but @SkaterRacket, pronounced Skater Racket. It's a play on my it's a play on my artist, musician name, Scatter Racket. Cute. You may find @scatter.racket when searching. That is my art page. Get me back on my game. Let's learn new tricks or go on trails or through the city in Columbus. Help me not be scared of skate parks.
And this person's name is Katie. So yay, Katie. So if you are Katie's skate date, then hit them up @Skater Racket. And if you would like us to read your skate date, send an email to dearskatedate@gmail.com. Oh my gosh, Shove is literally trying to stab me. Stop.
Dear Shovel.
Dear Shovel is where you write in your questions and we answer them. Whether it's good or bad answers, it doesn't matter. We just answer them. So today's Dear Shovel is, Dear Shovel, what are your best and worst Halloween costumes that you've done over the years?
I don't have the worst.
Love, a Halloween costume enthusiast who has no idea what to wear. Okay, so my worst Halloween costume was all the years of my life when I wasn't allowed to dress up for Halloween, and it was just me in whatever I was wearing, hiding in the garage painting with all the lights off because my parents wouldn't let me turn on the lights because they didn't want people to come up to their door. And I was scared. So I would just like create art in the garage. So I guess I dressed up like an artist for all those years.
This is why we were like, Rebel's so fucking weird. I'm like, yeah, I hear the stories of her youth. Didn't have a chance.
Yeah, so that was my worst. What's your worst?
So Halloween is like usually like that's my Super Bowl. So I usually end up with more than one Halloween costume, and I am all about DIY. I think you're a fool if you spend money on a costume at a store when you can just build upon it yourself easily. You can go thrifting for the outfits. My favorite kind of costumes are cosplaying a character and like finding those clothes and building it yourself and like making stuff with it. And the other one like would always be like a gory one. Like you can make so much with like some liquid latex and some paper towels or toilet paper and some fake blood, and you can just be whatever you want. And so it's usually like my scary one and my cosplay one, and it's usually really good. So like I like everything I've done, from like Ursula to being a psycho clown with like my mouth cut open with like stitching, and I've done like the whole comic book zombie, which I might do again for the actual Halloween day this year for like my third costume. Don't know yet, but I've done so many looks. It's insane. And every time people are always like, oh my God. Like, and it's like, hello, I'm an artist. So it's like, comes easy for me.
Yeah. I just realized that I need something to wear on actual Halloween day.
Yeah. You need 3 costumes. Well, you have that share one. You can wear it again.
I'm not going to wear that again. I already wore it.
So, my worst costume, even though it was beautifully done and like I took so much time, but I'll say it's worse because it's now I know how problematic it is. A decade ago, the world wasn't so PC. We weren't that knowledgeable on things. Like, we didn't have as much information. It was plain ignorance. And so that's why I think it is bullshit when people like pull shit from like 10 years ago and they're like pictures and they're like, this is racist. And you're like, whoa, I know that's racist now, but did not know back then, or did not know that was like even problematic. So I was a Day of the Dead sugar skull, Katrina, 2 years. And I remember like I had a beautiful floral piece that I made. I took like hours painting on like perfect flowers and school makeup, and I wore this beautiful lace and a corset and a long skirt, and like went to a party, and then like it was like a Mexican party and other people were dressed like that, and like all my friends loved it. Well, it doesn't matter. You can't be like, oh, all my brown friends liked it, so it's not racist. Like, no, it still can be problematic. So when I got older, like I'm always like, ooh, I did that. like don't wear someone's culture as a costume. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then like such a when I was a kid, my parents did put me in like a Jasmine costume. And when I look at that, I'm like, but other than that, like, you know, I wouldn't say worse. It would just be like, I would get canceled if I did that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't start dressing up for Halloween until I started dating Shiv. So I have almost no experience before that, except for 1 year when I told my parents that I was going to like a harvest pumpkin patch thing. And then me and my friends dressed up like 80s rock band members, and we teased our hair super, super big, and we put that spray color in it, and we wore leather jackets, and we wore like colored tights, and we walked around the neighborhood, and I was like, I'm so badass. But like besides that, I never dressed up for Halloween before.
Yeah, she would just wear all black, and then like whatever people guessed she was, she'd be like, yeah, that's what I am.
That is definitely what I used to do. Yeah. One time I dressed up like Michael Jackson.
And she didn't have to do blackface because Michael Jackson looked like a white woman.
Well, and also I would never even consider doing blackface. But
I know, but when people are like, oh, you dressed as a black person for Halloween, and it's like, no. She dressed as a black person that looks like a white woman. Yeah. So it was perfect, probably. I just needed brown contact lenses.
It actually looked really good. No, I wore sunglasses.
Oh, nice.
And then I had this like really cool, I found this like sequined shoulder pad dress thing that I cut up, and then I like pinned it onto a shirt, so it looked really cool. And then I had these loafers, and then I was like,
once we went to Cuba and we went to this club, and there was a Michael Jackson impersonator in Cuba.
Yes.
And like, I don't even think he spoke to us. I don't even remember if he talked, but
I don't remember either.
He acted just like Michael Jackson, and then like him and Rebel had like a dance off, and then like Rebel was like hanging from the rafters.
Yeah, because and, like, they had like rafter things you can hang on with him, to
and
dance.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. That's one of my favorite memories of my life. Yes.
Sorry for people that are gonna be like, fuck Michael Jackson. Like, okay, yeah, that's a whole nother debate. We're just telling a story, yeah. So please don't get mad.
Yeah. Okay, so best costume.
Best costume.
I know what mine is. My best costume is definitely when I did Tank Girl. When I did Tank Girl with you.
That was my best couple costume.
And we did Tank Girl and Jet Girl, and it was so good. That was my best one that I've ever done. Everything was DIY. My Mad Max one was pretty good too. But yeah. Tank Girl, like, it was really, really good. Mm-hmm. But Mad Max is probably like second.
I don't have a best. I don't know. I like all of my costumes.
Well, you have to pick one for the sake of answering this question. I think your Beetlejuice one was pretty damn good.
That's one of my least favorites. It was like, okay. I threw that one together so quick.
Oh.
It's because the clothing, the makeup was good, but the clothing was like whatever for me.
Oh. Well, okay. I guess that Shev's not going to answer the question.
Nope.
That's fine. I thought your Miss Piggy outfit was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
One time, me and Shev were Miss Piggy and Kermit.
When everything you do is perfection, it's hard to choose the best.
Wow. Okay. Well,
scream for the pumpkin queen.
So that leads us to our final part of our podcast, which is our 5-star review.
5-star.
Thank you so much for giving us 5 stars. If you want to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, we will be so happy. And yeah, and it will like signal to Apple that we're like important or cool or
Apple
something.
doesn't care.
No, and then they'll like push our podcast to other people, and then we can like have more people listen to our podcast. Or else that's what we hope. We don't really know if that's how it works, but
I haven't looked at our analytics in like a year.
That's because
how many people listen to our episodes?
Like at least 300.
And then we have 300 on YouTube, roughly. So about 600 people listen to an episode.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of people.
600 people don't hate us. Or they do hate us, and they listen to us, and they like angry skate.
I kind of like that more.
They're like, more reasons to hate them. They're just waiting for us to say something problematic. So they're like, let me listen so I can get that one thing.
If you're a person who hates us, hey, how's it going?
Hey.
We love you.
Hey, I hope when you're late at night, you just hear our voices in your head.
Oh, my God.
Anyways.
Okay.
So 5-star review. Thank you, Zenith of the Black Sun.
Oh, my God. So dope.
Do you
Zenith
skate
of
with
the Black
Zenith
Sun.
Bearings?
Is it Zenith or is it Zenith?
Zenith. So maybe it's Zenith of the Black Sun. Oh, that was creepy. Okay.
In the best way.
So they say, I always listen to this podcast the day after it comes out. I love listening to Shev and Rebel's opinions on things, and it really helps me think about things I've never thought of. I also really enjoy their stories and how they aren't afraid to talk on some deep subjects. Definitely worth a listen.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Zenith of the Black Sun.
Black hole sun. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God.
Cue 90s typical singing voice, but Black Hole Sun is a good song.
Yeah, so listen to that song and go on to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. Give us a little comment, and we'll shout you out on our podcast. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and especially you, Zenith of the Black Sun. I hope you have the most beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day ever.
Yup.
And if you want to support our podcast, you can like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. You can rate us on any podcasting app, or you can support us financially by buying an ad or by supporting us via Venmo at Queer Girl Skates with the tagline something skate date podcast. And yeah, anything else we need to say to the people?
Y'all dope.
Oh my fucking God, it's almost Halloween.